We back. 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 We're back. We back. We back. We back. Deke fam, gamers, streaming enjoyers. We're finally friggin' back. We're finally friggin' back. Well, I tell you, it's gonna be hard to make Workout Wednesday a thing if this keeps happening. I'll tell you that for free. We're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep mother-loving trying. But it is gonna be hard to make Workout Wednesday a thing if I keep getting called into work. If you follow me on X the Everything app, which some of you do, then you already know that I, quite unfortunately, had to go into work today. Had to go do my thing in the old working place, even though it was supposed to be my day off. But that's fine. You know, we made a little bit more money. That's pretty good. It's also just been dreadfully hot in my neck of the woods. Like, it's the start of October and we're getting triple digit temps. It's been thoroughly unenjoyable. And even though it's definitely hot working in a restaurant environment, as they say, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. I don't want to be in the kitchen. I'm not trying to be there. But I gotta make a living. I gotta make a living somehow. I'm like one of those animal appliances in the Flintstones. You just see my beleaguered face and I smile weakly at you and say, it's a living, you know. It's a living. We do what we can. So yes, instead of going live at 4 for a couple hours of intense workout action, followed of course by a healthy slice of World of Warcraft, here I am at 9 PST, a little after 9 even. Crazy late start to a stream, right on that border of where I would say, you know what, fuck it, I'm just not going to stream. Like, generally if I get back from work and I can't start my stream until like 10:30, 11 p.m., that's what I'm going to call it. But as we've talked about on this space before, I am not yet in a position to be able to turn down any pay for a few hours work. I gotta take that offering. And so I did. But now I'm back. And I also realized that when Luthanara resubbed, I still am blown away by the fact I've got subs, multi-month subs now. Got a tier 3 sub in Disjoint, like so many wonderful supporters already. Very, very kind folks. As is the rule, whenever anyone subs the tier 1 sub, I add 250 meters onto the rowing distance that I owe the stream. And because I was in the middle of Mythic Plus last night, or was I in the middle of a raid? I was in the middle of something. I was not able to remember to add those meters. And there will be working out on Saturday. If Workout Wednesday cannot be a thing, then Sweaty Saturday will be a thing instead. Because as much as they try and work me like a workhorse, as much as they try and treat me like a horse that they want to run into the ground, they cannot make me work 7 days a week. I mean, they could, like, there's no law prohibiting them from doing so, but there are laws that would force them to pay me rather a lot for that 7th day of work, and no one's willing to do that. So if I end up just living a life where I'm working 6 days a week and only have 1 day off, if that ends up being my life, well, then we'll make that day the workout day. We'll make that day the sweaty day. Because like I've talked about before, it is a fitness trap to say to yourself, well, I work 6 days a week. I don't have time to work out because I only get 1 day off a week. Then work on that 7th day. Do work on that 7th day. Oh, but I want to rest. Working out is a kind of rest. It might not feel like it while you're doing it, especially if you're fatigued and mentally exhausted. You might want to just sit there and veg out. Believe me, I fucking get it. Believe me, I love doing that. That's again the heartbreaking thing about fitness. That once you get the benefits from it, you realize that they far outweigh anything you can get from not doing it. So if it turns out that you got to work 6 days a week in a highly physical job where you sweat, where you bend, where you lift, you still got to send that 1 workout day a week. Because if you want to get results, if you're like me and you want to get results, you still have to put in dedicated, focused work. But as I've also talked about, Jeff Nippert has shown that you only need 3 sets a week. 3 sets a week on any given muscle to see 2/3 of the possible development of that muscle in that week. Again, that is absolutely phenomenal. A lead that should not be buried. That's why it's so important to just put in even 1 day of work a week. If you have 1 day off, if you only have 1 day where you can work out on that day. So no workout Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays in a row. That's unfortunate. The heat wave continues. Also unfortunate. Just physically getting ground into a fine powder. That's not lovely either. I don't do well in the heat, as I've said on this stream. I'm a very delicate flower. And in this heat, I am wilting. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because we're going to do delves. That's right. The content that I've talked so much shit about, the content that I've questioned the worth of, that I've called Torgas 2.0, that I've said the developers don't even have a good baseline here, that they're way off the mark. I'm a certified delve hater. But I'm doing delves. What's up with that? Well, I didn't do any delves last week, and I did slam a lot of Mythic Plus. And goddamn human psychology, but it's true. It is basic human psychology, and it is also true that doing one thing a lot and never doing another thing makes you tired of the thing you're doing a lot and makes you miss the thing you've not been doing. Alright, we'll stop killing Bran with the rage-filled idol. We'll stop killing him deliberately. Out of spite? Yeah, we'll call it out of spite. You know, I was in a bad place with Delves a couple weeks ago. I had slotted in the rage-filled idol specifically so I could kill Bran as many times in a dungeon as possible. I'd had it up to here with these delves. I was not having fun. So I took time off, and I just fucking slammed Mythic Plus, dude. I just slammed Mythic Plus. And now Mythic Plus has slammed me. Mythic Plus has not given up the treats that I need from it. Everything I've gotten that's been of any value has not been from Mythic Plus, it's been from the raid. Which does sadly mean there's a lot more Mythic Plus in my future. But there are also, thankfully, blessedly, weekly quests. One of which... Is it this one? No, that's the Pinnacle Cache. Dornagal. It's the weekend event? Yeah, a call to delves. A cache of delver spoils. Rewards a piece of champion equipment for your loot specialization. Now, typically when this is so, typically when these types of quests are provided, this champion level gear comes from the raid. It doesn't specifically say that, so I might end up regretting and even rueing something I hate doing. I hate to rue. May even rue the time that I spend if this champion piece of equipment ends up being delve gear. Because the specific reason why I didn't do any delves last week is that none of my bis gear comes from delves. So it doesn't make any sense for me to invest time in delves if I can't get any of my bis gear out of there. And likewise, I can get all the champion level delve gear I want by just completing bountiful delves like the one I'm in right now. Fungal folly. Let's drop in. But the fact of the matter is, we've got a potential AOTC raid tomorrow, ahead of the curve, killing the final boss on heroic difficulty. That is the goal for tomorrow. And that makes it very, very, very important that I'm able to put my best foot forward, that I'm able to have the best gear I possibly can. And if that is the case, if that is indeed the case, then I am still rocking one piece of veteran gear. So even a delve chest piece would be welcome here. There's not much else delves could give me, but a delve chest piece would also give me a good option for catalyzing into tier if I can get a fourth piece of tier from the raid tomorrow. So there are some good things to be had by doing delves. And especially given how odd the Mythic Plus environment is right now. I will call it odd because for the last couple of seasons now, we have really normalized delves being accessible. Pugs being accessible. I think that's why the community is kind of surprised at the current state of Mythic Plus. Because if they've been playing the game for the last year, they would have experienced a really easy time getting into Mythic Plus, doing that content in pugs. That was the norm. But of course we are now in a new expansion, and especially in the first season of any given expansion, this is the norm. Oh my god. It was definitely unusual for pugs to be so good, for getting into Mythic Plus to be so easy. Might have had a little something to do with the deterministic gear provided by the bullions that every week or so allowed you to unlock a new piece of bis gear. That might have had something to do with it. I don't know. As someone that's invested a not inconsiderable portion of his recent stream schedule into farming Grim Batal and getting Grim fuck all, something about deterministic gear might have helped address that problem. But even that aside, as I've said on this stream in the past, there will be plenty of time to branch out, to do my alts, to expand my warband, to work on my professions. There will be plenty of time for all of these things. Because eventually I will get my bis gear. Eventually that will be just done and dusted. And the paths through which I can further improve my gear will either narrow or outright vanish. And at that point, I'll be able to absolutely invest a lot more time into my alts, into my professions, into all that stuff. But as we saw last Thursday, if my damage isn't where it needs to be, and the raid leaders need to cut down the raid to try and secure the boss kill, I will be sad. And I will also be sad. I will be sad and I will be sad. Because raiding is my favorite thing to do in this game. I wouldn't say it's why I play it, but I love to raid. And so at least for the moment, I have to do whatever I think will help out my personal performance in the raid the most. And thus I am once again in Delves. But I will also say, now that I'm a bit more geared, you know, now that I'm, you know, 615 is pretty good. It's not 629 or whatever the cap is, but it's pretty good. And these bountiful delves are still only 8s. I do see reasons to, in the future, try and push them up. Do Zekvir, all that stuff. I do see cause to do that in the future. But again, for right now, doing Zekvir is not going to help get me raid ready. But a random piece of crit mastery gear out of a bountiful delve might be good. Because that's the thing. Even though the expansion has been out now for well over a month, we're only in like week 3, I think, Jesus, of the actual Mythic Plus season, raiding season. We're still pretty early on. And because there is no deterministic gearing available, then we only have the way classes are currently balanced, who's up, who's down, which, you know, marksman is typically not one of the ones that's up, to my chagrin. And we've got whatever gear you've been luckily able to acquire, which for some of my colleagues has been robust. There are some of my colleagues that are having a grand old time with their gear. And good for them. One nice thing about getting older is you kind of grow out of things like jealousy and coveting the success of others. Because fundamentally, you just want that success for yourself. And you would want people to be supportive and kind to you in the face of that success. You know, it's not so much the golden rule as it is just, you would want this, you know? Don't treat others how you would like to be treated. Acknowledge that we are all just trying to help each other. You should feel no obligation. Kindness should be a reflex. But I feel like, especially when we're young, it's really easy to be like, oh, I want that guy's girlfriend. I want that guy's money. I want that guy's life. When really, I just want us all to have what we want. If someone else has it and I don't, you know, obviously that sucks for me, but I wouldn't want to take from someone else to be able to have for myself. And I would want someone to be happy for me if I was the fortunate one. So, unfortunately, I have no choice but to just say, I'm glad you're doing well, genuinely. Whomever that is. Frontal? You trying to frontal me, bro? I'm glad Bartender fixed the issue with the pet utility pop-up. In Dragonflight, this little pop-up thing here didn't work. And it was very annoying. And the other thing about Mythic Plus is that you have to deal with people. And that's another kind of weird thing. Like, again, for whatever reason, could be the deterministic gear, could be the dungeon pool, but in seasons 3 and 4 of Dragonflight, I didn't really have any bad group experiences. People knew what they were doing, or were at least able to speak up when they didn't, and then we would help them. Groups wouldn't randomly disband or have drama or have like weird backbiting, snipey weirdness. At least in seasons 3 and 4 of Dragonflight, I would go into a Mythic Plus group. We would say like, hey, howdy, hey there. We would do the dungeon. The tank might make some calls, right? The tank would be pretty much the only one talking. We'd get done with the dungeon and collect our loot and hit each other with the GGs and hearth out. No drama. Just professionalism on everyone's count. But of course now, season 1 of The War Within, that's decidedly not the experience, which is the same experience as in Dragonflight season 1. So obviously this will maybe, hopefully, certainly change later. But we have to live in the here and now. We have to live with the current situation. And so what can be done? Well, the same solution I have to not getting sat in raid. Another way to avoid not getting invited to a Mythic Plus group is to raise your eye level to improve your Mythic Plus score. So that's why last night we focused on doing new Mythic Plus dungeons to increase our score, which was at least partially successful. We did our first 6 of the season, and though we didn't time it, we almost did. And we were certainly acquitting ourselves well. We were not the cause for not timing it, at least not solely. So that was nice. Granted, it was a miss at Tierna Scythe, so it was a pretty unfun 6 to do, but it was still a 6. That definitely points to some green shoots as far as getting out of the purgatory we've been in with Mythic Plus so far. Because we've been stuck at that 4 level. We've not been able to get past the 4 level. And I think a lot of that was actually chalked up to my gear. I think quite literally, group leaders just see your item level in the LFG interface. And they see that you're a marksman hunter, so not a mage, not a warlock, not a meta class. And they just say, no, I'll just pick from one of the 50 other people that apply to my key. Kind of like a job market right now, right? Where like you aren't competing with a dozen people for a job. You're competing with 120 people for a job. You know, the game's somewhat of a victim of its own success, right? Because as players have come swarming back to the game, because World of Warcraft is back. World of Warcraft is very good right now. World of Warcraft is absolutely back. Given that, an increase in population does not necessarily lift all boats. And if I didn't have any attachment to my characters, if I was the type of player that would say, you know, I'll just play whatever's meta, a so-called meta slave, if you will. I didn't have to get hit by that. That was kind of unfortunate. But I do have an attachment to my characters. I have an emotional attachment to my characters. But I also have a enjoyment attachment to my hunter especially. I just always love the way marksman feels to play. Sometimes marksman changes a little bit to where like, okay, in this case I don't like playing it as much. Or I wish it played like another iteration of marksman. But as far as playing out a particular class fantasy, as far as how a class feels to play when I'm playing it, no class in this game is as fun for me to play as Marksman is. Marksman is absolutely my favorite to play. So there is a certain element of, you know, if I can't play with Marksman, then I'd rather not play, right? Like, if you love Mythic Plus, if you love raiding, there's two schools of thought. Either you play whatever class spec combo gets you into that Mythic Plus group, gets you into that raid, so you can do that thing you have the most fun doing. Or you try and figure out a way to make your preferred class and spec fit the mold, even when Blizzard has not done you any favors in that regard. And the latter is the harder of the two tasks. I actually really enjoy Taliesin's content because he is a Discipline Priest, and Discipline Priests have spent a lot of the various seasons with the same struggles that I, as a Marksman Hunter, have had throughout my time playing this game, where very, very rarely is Marksman the meta. More often than not, it's Beast Mastery, especially in Raid, but even in Mythic Plus, often. Sweet. Thanks for the mining, Bran. All right. That hasn't been long, right? That was like 25 minutes to get through the delve. And even though I made a few mistakes here and there, I didn't lose any lives. So now we should just be able to what? Open up on this guy like he's a can of chicken soup. You know, we should just be able to take this guy down to Chinatown. He's doing Fungal Storm.
Watch your step.
Like, I'm pretty sure just as long as I never get hit by this charge, there's pretty much no way I can lose. Pretty sure. And that's the thing, like, especially given that there's an achievement for avoiding them, like, and there's also a way you can damage enemy mobs with them, these spore bits, right? Like, I get what they were trying to do there. I understand that design space. But I will just keep coming back to the simple question, is it fun though? Like, is it fun to constantly be running away from exploding spore bits? Is it fun to use them to damage enemies? To both I say no, it's not. To both I say neither is fun. So why is it here? Very, very silly to make a new gameplay pillar and then put something in it that makes it less fun. It's very silly to do. But at least now that we've gotten some gear, we don't have to sweat too much. Unlike in real life when it's hot as hell, and we are definitely going to have to sweat a little bit IRL. Interesting. Yep, and of course we've got plenty of keys we can use. Fantastic. A useless trinket. I love seeing that. I believe this was in my D tier of the Abyss list. Yeah, Imperfect Ascendancy Serum, D tier. But at least we got one in the bag. Cross one off the list. Let's grab any
Chinese tchotchkes
that we can before we go. These little nuggets to juice Bran up. And then that's it. We're out. Get us out of here. Get us out of this godforsaken delve, dude. I am going to have to take a break to heat up my dinner, which I did not have time to do before stream. Mainly because I have a routine when I get home from work that involves me slamming some prote, slamming some chicken, slamming some fruit, a little bit of yogurt. Just because I know while I'm at work, I'm not really consuming anything. Like my lunch at work consists of a protein bar, a protein cookie, and protein cheese puffs. And of course, water and Red Bull and Gatorade. Just like nothing cool, nothing fun. But also nothing much substantive. Because when I'm working, I can't eat. I'm a slow eater. As we've seen on stream, often taking hours to eat a meal. Because I'm just nibbling. I'm nibbling while I stream. Alright, Elise Starseeker, you wanted this? Enjoy. To further increase my Delver's journey. Hilarious. I can see that here, right? Under Delves? Yeah. We're almost to the lantern nose schematic. Wowee. Wowee. I'll say it. I don't know what an appendage is. Like, I don't know what that is. I feel like that's the kind of thing where, like, they assume we know, but like, I don't know what that is. So I'll grab the wing-mounted propellers instead, because I know what that is. I know a thing or two about wing-mounted propellers. And that was actually pretty painless. I would say it was even a little fun. We even had a little kiss of fun. Or maybe more accurate to say we didn't have no fun. We didn't have anti-fun. See, that right there is the problem with delves. Too often it's not that they're not fun, it's like they're anti-fun. They're doing things that actively make them less fun when you're in them. Oh great, waterworks. Great. Underkeep I remember being a good one. Underkeep I remember having no issue with. Nightfall Sanctum I remember liking as well. Okay. So there are still some bountiful delves to do. And since this quest requires 5 delves, I'm also looking tonight at delving into Zekfir's lair for the first time. But we do the bountiful delves first. We do those bountiful delves first. Alright, 1 second, just a quick shift in perspective so I can read my guild chat here. Yeah, not much going on besides people complaining about Tyrannical, which, you know, that makes sense. But shout out to me. Shout out to me for at least getting better about not accidentally opening guild chat on screen. Just kind of purely because it's kind of rude, you know? Like, my guildies didn't ask to be put on stream. They don't know that what they're saying in guild chat can be shown to my viewers. So, important to be conscientious. Okay. I'm gonna hit the ad and I'm gonna put up the break timer. And I'm gonna heat up my dinner real quick. And I'll be right back. more like it. Food secured. Checking on my babies real quick. They are all posted up outside. Clearly still wanting more food. But they'll survive another delve. We're gonna do another delve. Break time's over. It's delve time. We're delving. I do like how it's consistently kind of really fun to fly down to the Ringing Deeps. There is a way to go directly down there via like a little elevator right there. But where it drops you in the Ringing Deeps is also like not trivially convenient. Drops you right there. And usually if I'm going down to the Ringing Deeps, I want to swing by town, which is right here. There's usually some herbing to be done. There's usually some snuffling to be done. And honestly, the flight down is just so much fun. It's just fun to fly. It's fun to fly down there. Hey. Speaking of, the hell? Good for that thing. Good for that scrap of paper. To thine waterworks we go. For another one of those crummy, annoying, dog shit, unfun delve mechanics. In this case, it's the fresh air totem. I think we just need to keep harping on it, right? We just have to keep saying, hey, shit like this isn't fun. Don't do it. Take it out of the current delves and never do it again. Fun idea. Try making delves fun. Just a wacky idea I had. We're also hoping to catch the eye of the incredible Caroline Kwan.
I thought that he was...
I've been a subscriber to Caroline for more than a year now.
Excuse me.
Her stream is amazing.
I thought that
and I've put myself in the running to maybe, hopefully, get a raid from her. Where's that Twitter thread? That X the Everything app thread. Hello, if you're a streamer working towards partner, please drop your Twitch link below and maybe a couple words to describe your stream. For the month of October, I'll raid someone at random after every stream. It would sure be nice to have the Quantarage drop by. They are lovely people, and I'm proud to count myself among them. So maybe when her stream ends, fates will smile upon me. But until then, we've got a new RM Brown joint. And you can tell I, sat down to begin streaming as soon as I possibly fucking could because my dinner wasn't heated up. I don't have stuff I want to watch, pre-opened and tabs ready to go. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. But I do have such a good time doing this. And it is very nice to have a good time doing things. And to have very generous and kind people support me. You know? I think that's all really awesome. All right. Let's watch that new Aaron Brown thing.
When your child bring in his popular knapsack with many different locations.
Hey, it's New York. Crack pipes and popular knapsacks. I gotta go bathroom. I'm talking about New York right now. Hey.
Hey, hi. Hey, what's up, dudes?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? So, you know, a lot of people have been talking about this guy. What's the guy's name? Hold on, I gotta check. Hold on, I gotta double check his name. This is how I look.
Mayor Eric Adams.
People have been giving him an unfair hard time. He is the funniest mayor. He was voted funniest mayor of all time. And this is one of his classic bangers. What is a video called Combating Gun Violence? There's a part of this video that I didn't see before that's maybe even funnier than the more popular parts. Let's check that out.
Look at the various colognes and perfumes and photos and pictures.
Oh man, that kid's going like this with that cologne. I don't know, I was thinking about it. You know, I think I'd rather have my kid have the arsenal of weapons that the great Mayor Eric Adams was looking for in this room, you know, than a bunch of colognes. I'd rather the kid be doing this than this. That's a weird 13-year-old kid, you know? Bunch of colognes. Weird old man 13-year-old.
I'm going to New York, yeah. Oh, bagels and cologne and perfume. There's something I gotta do. Hey, LeBron James.
Bagels and perfume, there's nothing I can't do. Hey, okay, do we have a goddamn person of the day? This just says knapsack, popular knapsack. So we don't have a person of the day. Okay, great. Why didn't anyone prepare the person?
Trying a thing where I just drop the totem and don't carry it around to alleviate how annoying it is.
Richard weighed in on the debate and says it's
Ooh,
just
Richard.
a debate, Pukeman.
Little Richard?
It means nothing. When your opponent has the media in their pocket, wrong there.
Pukeman.
It's weird.
God bless you.
Okay, that's person of the day. Whoever called this guy Pukeman.
Yeah,
We
whoever called
congratulate you on
Pac-Man
your person of the
Pukeman,
day win.
that
You
was a
get
good
one of
one.
these.
Well done.
And
That was
this
funny.
is fascinating, but one of these.
You think Margot Robbie takes a dump?
Come on, man.
I'm wandering around New York, hey.
Hey, shut up, man. We have to honor.
Shut
what's the
up,
guy's
man.
name? Mayor Eric Adams. We have to honor him as the funniest mayor of New York. What is this? Probably the funniest part of this is the phone stuff. He was dropping some real funny stuff when it comes to, what was he, like deleting text messages or something? Okay, sorry guys, I need to zoom in and really clear my mind and focus on this. New York City Mayor Eric Adams was stopped on the street by the FBI after an event in November 2023. Agents had a warrant for his electronic devices. They were going like this. And Eric Adams stated that
I'm a perfectly stable individual.
Mayor Eric Adams made it clear he had nothing to hide. In a statement, he said, as a former member of law enforcement, I expect all members of my staff to follow the law and fully cooperate, blah, 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 blah. So he gave him 2 phones, but neither one was his personal phone. The next day, on November 7th, Adams turned in his personal cell phone in response to a subpoena. Whoa, but the phone was locked. But the phone was locked with a passcode. Adams, who continued to pledge his full cooperation, told the FBI that he couldn't remember the code. Whoa.
Checkmate on that.
This
Yeah.
might sound suspicious, but Adams said it
Real
was actually a
genius
result
play
of his
there.
attempts to preserve the phone and its data for the FBI.
I was being too honest. That's the problem.
Yeah,
2
I
days
was just
earlier,
trying to
on
help you
November
guys
5th,
out.
Adams had gotten wind of the investigation into his finances after the FBI raided one of his associates. When he heard this, he changed his personal cell phone passcode, increasing its length from 4 digits to 6. Oh, to help them out. According to Adams, this was done to prevent members of his staff from inadvertently or intentionally deleting the contents of his phone. His personal phone. So that Adams could preserve the contents of his phone due to the investigation. When asked to remember
I'm
the
trying so
passcode,
hard to
Mayor
preserve the
Eric Adams
contents of my
replied,
phone, guys.
and then he goes, anyway, this is a great Merrick What did I just say? Merrick.
Merrick.
So this
Merrick
is Merrick
Adams?
Adams, and now people are going after him because he dared to ask the question.
You think Margot Robbie takes a dump?
People are afraid. People are afraid to ask that. But I really like this story.
They shouldn't be.
because
It's an
of the
important
fact
question.
Of that it's
'Cause it's
created
true,
one of
she
the funniest
does.
New York Times articles I've ever seen. The New York Times, or as I call it, the New York Live flat seats and chilled champagne, testing Eric Adams' upgrade life. The New York mayor is accused of accepting free luxury travel in exchange for political favors. How large was he living? A writer puts the experience to the test. I love this. I would totally do this if I were a New York Times writer. I'd be like, hey, I got a good idea for a story. This is for the story, not for me. I'll go stay in these places. I'll I'll retrace his steps. Yeah, you just want to stay in a fancy Turkish hotel, don't you?
No! It's for journalistic purposes.
Life is grand.
You know, where is it?
Man, that's smart.
The Bentley Suite at the St. Regis in Istanbul, I call it. That's how I pronounce it. With its marble floors and walk-in closets, 24-hour butler service, and blah, 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 all this crap. Ooh, and it's got one of these. What the hell is that? Whoa! This Bentley hotel room, whose spectacular leather, chrome, and lacquer decor. Lacquer. God, I'm stupid. Was designed in concert with the luxury car manufacturer and inspired by the interior of a Bentley car. Oh, I want to stay in a hotel room that's like being in a car. It usually costs around $2,500 a night. Mr. Adams is said to have paid just 300 bones. The rest of his tab was picked up by the hotel. Whoa, hey. Last week, the mayor was accused in a federal indictment of corruptly accepting more than $100,000 in illegal gifts. Including
You're just giving me things, bro. It's not corruption.
Like a car? Yeah. And I got the champagne and it goes down. And then I sit on the round kind of couch. Hey!
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would be worth all the trouble that Mayor Eric Adams is going through to stay in this inside of a car hotel. It's kind of a missed opportunity, though. He should have redone that room search video in this hotel room. You know, as like a tribute to that video.
Look at the various colognes.
You know, he's like, you gotta check the champagne compartment with the zzz goes down. Check the balcony for various colognes. But poor Mayor Eric Adams. This whole thing is like a cartoon of somebody getting busted. You know, hey, log into your phone, we need to check that. What phone? Come on, Mayor Eric Adams, put in the passcode. Slipped my mind. I think there's a 4 in there. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll hit you guys up later. What does this say right here? Let me zoom in. Sorry, I got zoom. Encrypted apps can protect your privacy unless you use them like Eric Adams. Hey, shut up, man. Give him a break. Hey, man.
What? Shut up.
An Eric Adams staffer excused herself from an FBI interview to go to the bathroom, allegedly to delete encrypted messaging apps. That's pretty funny. Come on, give them all a break for being funny, I think. That's my conclusion, okay?
Okay.
The indictment of Merrick Adams quotes a text message exchange between Adams and an unnamed staffer, in which the staffer allegedly tells Adams to, quote, be on the safe side. Please delete all messages you send me. Adams, according to the indictment, texts back, always do. Oh, wow, okay. It goes without saying that this policy of deleting messages did not prevent investigators from discovering these communications. Okay, so they weren't trying too hard. They were like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. We're kind of above the law a little bit, you know what I mean?
Oh!
Nor did an alleged attempt by the same staff member to delete encrypted messages and messaging apps after asking for a bathroom break during a meeting with FBI agents. You know what, though? Merrick Adams was a great improviser, just like the crack pipe video. Here's another example. Check this out.
That food has life.
Huh?
Do me a favor, hand me that cucumber for a moment so people can see.
Get the cucumber.
Hand me that cucumber.
This is life.
Exactly.
And when you give food like this out, Mercy Center,
Okay.
you are saying to the people of this community,
like
we love
pointing
you
with
and
it.
we respect you. You deserve what they have downtown. Everyone that knows me, they know one thing. I hate rats.
No, come on.
You know, when we started killing them in Borough Hall, you know, some of the same folks are criticizing us now called me a murderer because I was killing rats.
Those rats running around out here like, okay, it's a shame. Poor Mayor Eric Adams there, dude. What a look at his phone
Merrick
or
Adams.
something. I don't know, I don't remember. But let's honor him and look at his legacy as, well, what is it again? Mayor of New York City. Let's look at some of his, I've heard from the internet, YouTube specifically, that he has a bunch of far left kind of policies. Let's take a look at that. What did he do? What did he actually do?
Yeah, let's hear about his
Strengthen New York
far-left
City Public
policies. This
Library
ex-cop.
budget. Oh, goddamn you. Cut back on pre-K funding. The establishment of universal pre-K for all of New York City's 4-year-olds is one of the most popular accomplishments of Bill de Blasio's mayoral administrations. So Adams has sought to accomplish the opposite. Oh. According to New Yorkers United for Childcare, the mayor has cut almost $400 million the city's 3K and pre-K programs. It's 2022. Oh man, he's going like this. Look at those 4-year-olds. Jeez, making homeless kids needlessly suffer more. Oh jeez. According to New York One, public school students who live in homeless shelters grew by 39% last year. Jeez.
Whoa.
As one small measure meant to help those children, 100 community coordinators began working in the city's shelters in 2023, helping kids enroll in school or get a Metro cards. But none of those positions are in Adams' proposed budget. Oh. And Merrick Adams only mentions the homeless when he is fear-mongering about them. Jeez, come on, Merrick Adams. Merrick Adams. Using an errant AI bot for city administration. Oh, God. Some AI thing provides dangerously inaccurate information. Oh, God. The AI is going like this. Misallocating contracts for migrant care. Oh, sounds bad. Bringing RoboCops into the subway to do some of this. Failing to close Rikers Island. And getting baptized there for some reason. Okay.
Getting baptized there for some reason.
One of the first things Mayor Eric Adams did after winning the mayoral election was to fly to Puerto Rico on a cryptocurrency billionaire Brock Pierce's private jet. He's a crypto bro. Making up a story about a dead friend. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Came up with a fake picture or something about a dead police officer. Wait a second, hold on. That is a crazy statistic. Homeless New York City public school students grew by 39% last year. 120,000 children homeless in 2023. That really is something that a mayor as powerful as New York City mayor could basically instantly solve. What the goddamn hell does this say right here? The federal corruption indictment against New York City Mayor Merrick Adams suggests his victory didn't reflect a popular consensus on law and order and austerity. It was a product of alleged straw donor fraud that gave him a huge cash advantage in a tight primary. Oh, God damn it. You know, so very powerful position. Could help a lot of people. But, come on. Hey, shut up. Look at the bright side. That video with the popular knapsack was funny. Cucumber, pretty funny. So, you know, it's gotta weigh out.
Gotta weigh this
out,
you know?
You know, on one hand, there's... But on the other hand...
It's Bilbo.
Well, guys, another one in the books. Another one in the books.
For one day.
No, what day is it? Ooh. Wednesday. No thanks. No thanks.
No
That's
thanks.
not for me exactly, but I hope you guys are doing great.
Love you.
Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. Drana Del James here. Just wanted to say, hey, what's up? How are you? How about that guy? He's the mayor or whatever? It seems pretty cool to me, and that's putting it lightly. Hey, why don't you follow the social accounts? What the hell are they? Oh, on Instagram, RM Brown Clips. Wow, I should follow that. Maybe my little A word is on there. And then on TikTok, official RM Brown. Oh, TikTok. That's where the cool kids are at, apparently. Please, for God's sake, oh God, go follow those accounts. Check them out. Because we're having a hard time out here, man.
We're having a hard time out here, man.
Subscribe on Patreon. For as little as $2 just auto-ventful dollars a month, and you get a whole bunch of extra episodes. You're missing episodes. Wait, did I read that right? That can't be right. It is right. You get all kind of crap on there every week. I can't.
Get all kind of crap on there, dude.
Just click in the description. The link's in there anyway. I gotta get that out of here because I got a lot of problems, frankly, that I don't want to go into. They're legal, but I'm not at liberty to talk about that. But I gotta get the hell out of here. Well, drawing James Bide.
Next up, we've got a new Cody Shody.
Well, hello there, Dodge Ram. I'd like to ram that trunk into my mouth parts. Well, I want to Chevrolet you, your genitals and so forth. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in that trussy. Oh, hey, it's cool. I wanted you to see.
It's cool. I want you to see.
Hello, welcome to News Show. I am News Person, and here is some more news from News Person. Trucks. Sexy, sexy trucks. Trucks are the working folks' vehicle, used to haul large and bulky items, or for towing, or for transporting people and cargo over rough terrain, or for none of those things.
Gentle accelerator.
That's full throttle. Full throttle. The truck is really limiting. Still at full throttle. Still at full throttle. You have 600 horsepower. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a Cybertruck episode. And look, I don't want to spend another episode easily dunking on the famed anti-Semite and alleged employee diddler Elon Musk. I mean, I guess I do. He sucks more and more every day. I mean, look at this. You freak, you're a freak. Look at this. You freak.
Yeah.
God, pathetic.
Incredibly gross and weird thing to say.
He makes it impossible to avoid him. You could spend hours trying to clear the road of rakes and banana peels so the man doesn't trip up, and he will invent a banana rake that he slips on while ripping off his balls and flinging them into his own mouth. And he will proudly post that video online while his fans call him the new space messiah. Also, he wouldn't invent it. He'd pay someone else to invent the banana rake and then fire that person and take all the credit. So yeah, it's a Cybertruck episode. Why not? It's election season after all. It's a fun little break. We're having a goof, okay?
Yeah, we're having a good time. We're having a goof. We're having a gaff.
Intriguing creation. We'll discuss its awkward angles and its poor innards and what it means for society that such a weirdly designed contraption has been brought into existence. And yeah, we'll also be talking about the Cybertruck too. Cyberfucked. Elegant title. Refined. Perfect. Demure, etc.
There we
so,
go.
the Cybertruck. What's
He
wrong
did
with
the
it?
meme.
Why is it the way that it is? And what does it mean about Elon Musk's understanding of design? Because while he's been in charge of Tesla for a while, the Cybertruck really seems like the first car Elon himself has had complete control over, which is probably why it sucks.
Yeah.
Or, to be effed and B'd, it's getting a lot of headlines and viral videos saying that it sucks. A lot of angry people complaining online that the truck they bought isn't exactly like the truck in these ads.
Good ads, though.
Oh man, it drives on flat stuff and up ramps? No fooling? I mean, to be fair, that Tesla ad also shows it plowing through some rough-ish terrain, fording a very shallow river, and crushing delicate tide pools on the beach, like a magnificent stainless steel, low-polygon stallion. But again, it seems like the Cybertruck has fallen way short of this ad, at least according to human eyes.
The truck works so hard to control the rebound that it just comes across as extremely bouncy. Or, sorry, stiff, not bouncy, the opposite of bouncy. Then every now and then, the one pedal drive seems to like give up the ghost and you just go catapulting down the hill. So that is a little unnerving.
That's from a detailed assessment by TFL Off-Road that also compares the Cybertruck to a competing standard truck. And while they do have some nice things to say, I mean, you saw the clip. And now look at how the non-Cybertruck did.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And it's that easy.
Walked right up it.
Hey! That seems like a better truck! Still looks like shit though. As a side note, in this video, they couldn't even fully utilize the Cybertruck's off-roading features they paid for because the promised off-roading software hadn't been released yet. You know how the best rough and tumble trucks need software to handle rocks and stuff? Now, we didn't do our own review because it felt weird to ask people on Patreon for $80,000 to $100,000 for a Cybertruck when we could put that money to much better use in buying pallets of corn cream. Thus, we must rely upon the reviews of people who have actually bought a Cybertruck for, again, like $80,000. Either for testing or because they were excited about it. And again, mixed reviews.
I'm trying to open up the trunk. It won't respond.
No, this is a brand new vehicle. Listen to that. The steering is already making horrible noises. And on these Rhode Island bumps, it's not doing too good. You can feel every bump.
While they're not all bad, the truck is, at best, very mid. Which is not great for something with a price tag of anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 that was supposed to revolutionize cars as we know them, replacing fossil fuels with memes. So given the many promises from Mr. Cool Future Truckman, it'd be pretty disappointing to get an expensive electric truck that, say, has trouble with an accelerator that gets stuck and risks sending you zooming to your cool futuristic death.
My Cybertruck is that pedal looks different, right? It's missing this. This wedges itself right there. And as you can see, based on the design of the floorboard, this sliding up, and the way this was still hooked onto the pedal, it held the accelerator down 100%. Full throttle, had a clear mind, didn't panic, and holding the brake down overrides the pedal. So I was able to stop the car, but anytime I lift the brake, it would start accelerating again.
Oof. I'm not a car maker person. What's the word? Car maker person.
Yeah,
I'm not a car
person,
maker
that's what it is.
person, but I don't think it's good if your vehicle gets stuck in the zoom and die position. Tesla received this customer complaint on March 31st, which led to the swift and immediate recall 12 whole days later. If you're wondering how Tesla managed to make a car that actively tried to kill their customers, the problem was, apparently, soap. Tesla claims the use of soap on the pedal during production at the Tesla factory weakened the adhesive, causing the plastic part to dislodge during use. This extremely dangerous defect affected every one of the 3,878 Cybertrucks that had been sold at that time. Boy, he has not sold a lot of them, huh? In fairness, thanks to another recall, we know that number went up to almost 12,000 sales. So there you go. That's something. I mean, it's still not as good as other truck sales, probably because the Cybertruck sucks. But hey, you can't expect the car to be resistant to everything, let alone
anything.
Right, soap. The thing you wash cars with, more on that later, actually. I mean, luckily, the battery range is falling short of estimates, as customers complain that it's got a range of 200 miles as opposed to the 320 miles that Tesla promised. So there's a chance the battery would die before the uncontrolled acceleration sends you slamming into a concrete barrier, or bus full of school children, or a parade of guide dog puppies in training.
The puppies were threatening me.
They came right at me. You saw? Speaking of crashes, what happens if you are in one while also inside of the Cybertruck? Is a question I'm asking. Weirdly. Seems like I shouldn't have to ask that question. Seems like the kind of question you hope that the people making the car maker people, thought of ahead of time. But it also seems worth asking, considering that this is a vehicle with an accelerator that turned deadly after the introduction of the rare compound soap. Well, we don't know, is the answer. Neither the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration nor the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has crash tested the Tesla Cybertruck. Apparently, not every car has to be tested by an outside agency in the United States, such as cars that are rare or have a limited release. To be fair, nothing ensures a limited release quite like not testing if the car is safe. And so these safety agencies say they won't test the Cybertruck until there's more uptake. So, sorry Elon, possibly never. There's only been one video of a crash test done by Tesla itself, and keeping in line with Elon's pattern of having really amazing internal metrics that you can't see, no data from the purported test has been released, so it's unknown what kinds of things they measured and what the results were. But we can watch it and guess. Again, just guessing, but does that driver's seat dummy get his neck bent in a sort of final visit to a drunken chiropractor kind of way? I'm not a bones doctor, at least not a licensed one. So I don't know how many degrees the spine can be bent safely. I mean, I keep testing, so I'll get back to you. Warmbo says all degrees, but his evidence is haunting. And the concern that experts often repeat is around the rigidity of the truck and what seems to be the lack of a large crumple zone. Crumple zones are zones that get crumpled in the event of a crash. Makes sense. Car maker people intentionally design these areas to absorb the impact so that the initial force of a crash goes into the spots where there are no passengers. The force has to go somewhere, so it should go into the car as opposed to the passenger. It's like how you don't want to make a bike helmet that's indestructible. Helmets break so your skull doesn't break. This also allows more time for the vehicle to decelerate before the impact hits the cabin containing the fragile, squishy tubes of meat, bone, and juices. Here's a brief instructional video. As you can see, the typical car has crumple zones in the front and back, and a cabin protecting the passengers. While Elon Musk has claimed that the Cybertruck will be much safer per mile than other trucks, both for occupants and pedestrians, he's offered no actual evidence or metrics to back this up. Safety experts who have viewed Tesla's own crash footage have some concerns.
I'm skeptical that a truck that is primarily made of like sharp, jagged edges and flat metal surfaces is in any way safer for pedestrians, especially given it doesn't have very good external cameras.
Former president of the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety told Reuters, quote,
Nice.
"The big problem there is if they really make the skin of the vehicle
Reuters?
very
You mean the
stiff
steroid
by using
guys?
thick stainless steel, then when people hit their heads on it, it's going to cause more damage to them." Yeah, that checks out. Again, this is why bike helmets are designed to break on impact, and why they're not made of steel, because then you're just hitting steel. Similarly, we don't make cars out of hard metal unless we are specifically trying to destroy the things it might hit, like the skull of a pedestrian. And Elon Musk has even bragged on Twitter, now known as Eggs, that the stainless steel on the truck is so tough, it breaks the stamping press. Which sounds cool until you imagine a human body being flung against it. Again, the point of crumple zones is that it increases the space and time between the moment of impact to when the impact forces reach the cabin of the vehicle. So if the steel of the Cybertruck is too unyielding and tough, it would mean there would be little to no deceleration in a crash, and the occupants of the vehicle will go from, say, 60 to 0 in much less time, meaning more force, meaning more bone splintering. It's called vertical integration. Do not try Neuralink. And of course, whatever dangers a rigid Cybertruck may pose to occupants, those risks would be far worse for pedestrians,
Well, that's
cyclists,
cool.
other drivers, or random bystanders.
Got all the waterworks stories.
Literally everyone else.
Got I
Musk
take
even
candle.
bragged about this, saying, "If you have an argument with another car, you will win." So by
I wonder,
winning,
can I
he
just go
means
back
vehicular
now
manslaughter,
and find any chests
right?
I missed?
You can't claim it will be
that
safer
possible?
per mile for pedestrians, while also saying it's an unstoppable murder car
I hadn't
built
thought
for
about that
smushing
until this
pedestrians.
moment.
This whole "my car will mercilessly mow down any obstacle" attitude isn't exactly new, but other car maker people at least have the sense not to come out and say, "Our car is built so you'll kill other people in crashes." It's a trend in car culture leading us towards a
Yeah,
car
I'll go ahead
version
and
of
go
the
over
Hunger
here.
Games, or car version of The Purge, or car version of Mad Max, it's just Mad Max. A world where we built cars not with the safety of everyone in mind, but with the desire to create wrecking balls where only the car's own inhabitants stand a chance of survival. To win, apparently, at driving, but maybe we can
very
trust
American
Cybertruck owners
concept.
to understand the solemn responsibility of owning a high-velocity, ultra-hard steel bludgeon. Or, instead, perhaps they'll turn them into...
I do also grapple with referring to citizens of the United States as Americans. America's a big place. Most of America is not the USA. So it does kind of suck that we'll call, USAians? United States folks. Americans. When they are not even like half of all the people that live in America. But I guess we just have to acquiesce. I guess we just have to acquiesce that there's no putting that toothpaste back in the tube. People in the USA are called Americans. But I just wish we could come up with a term for ourselves that allowed the rest of America, North and South America, to be Americans. Wouldn't that be nice? If we could all be Americans? I think that'd be nice, personally.
invisible high-velocity, ultra-hard steel bludgeons by polishing the stainless steel exterior until it is essentially a mirror. Neat. More neatness per mile for pedestrians, they say. The cool thing about this is that as a pedestrian, you now need to consider whether the other side of the crosswalk is real, or simply the reflection in a rapidly approaching $150,000 truck with an appetite for human paste. And to make matters more exciting in this Frogger, rated M for mature, situation, the cover of the rear trunk apparently blocks visibility out of the back windshield and rear view mirror.
The Tesla Cybertruck has a rear view mirror, and there's nothing to see behind us. There's nothing to see back there. With this open, you can now see out the back. But it's such a tiny mirror that, like, you still can't really see anything.
God, it's such a good example of Elon's 13-year-old brain wanting to make something look cool like the Matrix while forgetting the basic function. That mirror looks neat in exchange for having absolutely no use as an actual mirror. And sure, while Cybertrucks do have backup cameras, owners have reported glitches with those sensors. So hey kids, when you're standing near driveways, make sure to watch out for those high-performance stainless steel child crunchers that can now be customized